Hey guys, how you doing? So I'm gonna talk about a little bit about the Fox Knives FX-305. You seen me getting it a couple days ago and I've been carrying it ever since. And I gotta say I like it, I'm not the biggest fan of the backlugs. It never was my thing because very often they're pretty stiff and it's not so conventional to close it, because you have that locking mechanism back here, so it's kind of awkward sometimes. But when you get used to them, they are, most of them, when you have thumb studs or thumb hole, they are actually one-handed operation. It's just not as convenient for me as regular liner lugs or frame lugs or compression lugs, axis lugs, and all those different types of lugs. So I was never a biggest fan of them, and I gotta say that I actually don't mind it on this one. This is a little different for me. I use this as a as a regular pocket knife, but it's this nice slow speed two-hand opener. I did learn to close it with one hand. You just give it a little flick. And I'm gonna talk about a couple things that I really like about this knife. Now, first is the fact that it's a flat grind. It's awesome. I really like that. You guys know that it is a good grind, unlike what you see mostly on the knives, hollow grinds. I'm definitely a much bigger fan of the flat grind. And not only that, it actually is pretty reasonably thin flat grind on the edge. I want to show you. Let me zero this. Let's put some numbers on that edge. It's about 20 thousandths behind the edge, which on production knife is actually not bad. Normally you're gonna see 25 thousandths and stuff like that. It's still definitely thicker than what it could be, but at the same time, it being a regular V edge, it takes very little work to just knock off the shoulder, thin down the cross section a little bit, and you have really good cutting tool. The steel is perfect. N690, it's a really good stainless steel, very good stainless resistance. It's been on the beach with me a couple days. There's nothing, I never oiled a blade. So, being in the pocket in the summer now, being hot and sweaty, again, there's a lot of steels would have some kind of spaz or things like that. This one doesn't, so really like it. Nice and small, definitely not threatening, definitely like a funky little design, not a threatening tip, but still pointy enough for pretty much most of the stuff that you need. It's not a super fine tip, but it's definitely get the job done. The grind, beside being nice and thin, is actually nice and high, so the whole cross section of the blade of the grind will be pretty good. For my hand, this is a small knife, don't forget. Let me show you, what is it, 2 3/4 of an inch cutting edge. Yeah, 2 3/4 pretty much. The whole, right under. And overall, it's only about 6.5 inches, so it's very small. But the way the grip is perfect for me, I have 3 fingers and the pinky comes on the end, just like so. It's very comfortable. The pocket clip is actually very unobtrusive. It's nice and slim, rides in the pocket really well. Lowrider, a lot of people will enjoy lowrider. For me, some of you know that I'm not the biggest fan of the lowriders. If I can pick, I will pick something that sticks out more. But on this knife, I haven't found a problem, grabbing it by the end and pulling it out, because the pocket clip is just right. This being a plastic handle, like FRN or yeah, probably FRN or Zytel. It's not it doesn't have super great traction, so it actually does slide in and out of the pocket pretty well, and also the way the pocket clip is bent, just perfect retention in the pocket. It's not gonna move around, you're not gonna feel like it would fall out or something, but it's, it's still easy to remove. So I like that a lot. I like the little touch that they did put, kind of like that, kind of like a funky Anso pattern on the handle, and I like it. Very slimline, very lightweight. It's only 2 ounces. So we have nice, decent, good looking, depends on the taste, but for me it's a good looking little knife. And what I found interesting is, first I thought that it's a little gritty, not like gritty, it's not as smooth, which is kind of normal with the liner lugs to begin with. But this was a little different, so I was curious, how is it constructed inside? I was curious, how is that spring done inside? How is everything, put together inside? So I took it apart and I was actually surprised, kind of pleasantly surprised, the simplicity of this one. I want to show you. I'll try to take it apart real quick because I think it's worth showing. So pocket clip is reversible, which is also another thing a lot of you guys will like, you know, left, right pocket, tip up, awesome. But what I did not expect is, you normally know that the back lugs are normally constructed from two pieces. You have the lug itself and you have some kind of spring. Spring normally sits in the back, it's normally set in the back spacer, you know, that gives you that spring action of the back lug. Now this one is different and I want to show you why and you know how. And there's advantage to it. It's the simplicity. I don't know who came up with this, but check this out. So the back lug spring is actually just one piece. You know, the spring and the lug itself is one piece construction held in place by the two, you know, pin standoffs or whatever, pivots, which is pretty cool. Also all the pivots are same. Then you have just the back spacer on the end, which actually isn't even necessary. It holds that pocket clip, but it's actually not even necessary there. The knife would hold perfectly together even without it. You would be able to squeeze the plastic handles a little bit, but the knife would actually hold and function perfectly without it. So look at that. You see how it springs? One piece, one construction. Also another interesting thing, which I'm not sure, I think that's actually one of the reasons why it doesn't feel that smooth. It actually doesn't have washers. It has that thing what a lot of other knives also have, like for example Microtex. There is no washer, but the plastic handle has little raised up section there, which kind of acts like a washer. You see there, you can kind of make it up there. There is a, you know, size of a washer, but it's actually built in the plastic. The plastic is risen up, and that kind of works as a washer. It gives you a little area, a little space between the handle and the blade, so not the whole blade is in touch, you know, not this whole area is being sliding over the steel. It's just a little thing. In the long run, I don't know how quick it will wear out, so that's kind of questionable. But even if it wear out, you can always just pop in the washers, you know, regular washers in it. And I do think the washers would kind of give you more smoothness to it, but again, it kind of goes with the whole theme. I think it being very simplistic. So the whole knife, if you think about it, you have two scales, one back space, you know, one back lug, one blade, and just the screws that holds everything together, which is very, very simple construction, super simple construction. And I kind of like it, you know, the less things, the less parts, the less things to go wrong. So that's pretty neat, definitely pretty neat. And I was surprised by it. I definitely did not expect this type of a back lug, you know, one piece construction, and it was a pretty cool surprise. I liked it. So guys, so far I definitely like it. You know, for some of you might be thrown off that you're getting only the plastic and it is this knife. I don't even know how much it is on the actual street price, because I never seen anybody sell it. I actually get it directly from Fox Knives, and I paid, I think, a little over $70 shipped. So it's not the cheapest knife, but now considering that you have a pretty hot designer behind the thing, you have a good blade steel, even though you have a very simple handle. You have pretty innovative back lug system, I think. I'm not sure, you know, I'm not so familiar with back lug, so it's probably maybe even very common design by now, but I think to me it was innovative. I'd never seen this before. I heard about one other designer, one other knife having something similar, but I never seen it personally in a knife, so I think it's pretty cool. And you know, considering all that, especially the name and the design and everything, I think it's a not bad price, especially if you are looking for something like this, because I think it's very cool. You're not gonna see it that often. It's not something that you can just buy pretty much in any knife supplier or any knife shop. So I'm definitely happy. I was actually tempted to, I still actually am, to just get another one. They have a one with like a coyote brown handles or the tan handles, and I do like this knife, so I was actually tempted. I still am tempted to get that one as well, just to have it, because I think they will be very handy, and I think they will be quite wanted in the future. We'll see how many of them they will make. Anso is a very, you know, sought after knife maker, and his stuff is hard to get and pretty expensive. So, and this is one that is really kind of like his signature. You know, it really shows his take on a knife. This is very Anso-like shape and everything, so you know, and I think it's more Anso-like than a lot of what Boker, for example, has. You know, Boker has his kind of regular stuff that is more in the line of very nude, very neutral knife. knife design. This is more that funky style what he's very famous for. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, and remember, don't cut yourself.